You know, AI is pretty much everywhere now. It's in the apps that recommend your next movie, and it's in the systems that could approve your next loan. But with all that power, well, that comes with a huge responsibility. So today, we're going to look past the hype in the headlines to ask a really important question. How do we actually build AI that we can trust? All right, let's dive in.
And this is the core of it, right? As we hand over more and more of these big decisions to AI systems, everything from job applications to medical diagnoses, the challenge isn't just making the AI smarter, it's about making it wiser. It's about building in the guardrails for these incredibly powerful tools before they're let loose in the real world.
For a long time, AI ethics was, a topic for philosophers debating in a lecture hall. But that's changing, and it's changing fast. We are now officially in the era of application. So in this explainer, we're going to focus on that exact shift, moving from these abstract ideas to the concrete, practical things organizations are doing right now to build better, more responsible AI.
And that is the crucial point. We are way past just talking about the problem. The real work now is in operationalizing the solution. And to do that, you need a toolkit, one that's filled with specific, measurable processes and practices. This isn't some passive debate anymore. It's an active, hands-on engineering challenge.
So what's actually in this toolkit? Well, our first stop is the technical layer. We're going to pop the hood on these AI systems and inspect the code itself to make sure these things actually work the way they're supposed to, for everyone.
A key tool here is something called an algorithmic audit. Now, the idea is actually pretty simple. Think of it like a safety inspection for a new building before it opens to the public. An audit does the exact same thing for an algorithm. It systematically checks for hidden flaws. So, for example, an audit of an AI used for hiring might test if it's consistently ranking candidates from one neighborhood lower than others, which could reveal a hidden bias. It's all about finding those risks before they cause real harm.
So why do all this? Well, it all boils down to accountability and transparency. When these audits happen, especially if they're done by independent groups, they build public trust. It's a way for developers to prove their systems are fair, and it creates a really clear line of responsibility if and, let's be honest, when things go wrong.
But just checking the code is never going to be enough, because AI isn't built in a vacuum. So let's move to the next layer, because we have to look at the people who create the technology and the rules that govern it. This is where we have to go beyond the algorithm itself.
This quote from the source material, man, it just hits the nail on the head. AI systems are not neutral, not at all. They are products of human decisions, human perspectives, and yeah, human biases. The values and, just as importantly, the blind spots of a development team get baked right into the code, whether they intend to or not.
So how do you even begin to counter that? You build better teams. What's so powerful about this slide is how clearly it shows the impact. Just imagine a team where everyone has a similar background, right? They might not even notice that their new voice recognition software struggles with certain accents. But a team with people from all sorts of different backgrounds, they are way more likely to spot that issue from a mile away. So it's not just about being fair, it's about building better, stronger technology.
And finally, you have the legal layer, because even with the best teams, you still need clear rules of the road. Think about AI used in really high-stakes areas like self-driving cars or the criminal justice system. These regulatory frameworks, they're not there to slow down innovation. They exist to set a minimum safety standard, a vital safety net to protect all of us from the biggest risks. Okay, so we have the technical audits, the diverse teams, and the legal frameworks. The key thing to get here is that none of these work on their own. This is what experts call a sociotechnical challenge, which is a fancy way of saying it's a problem where the social parts and the technical parts are completely tangled up together.
And this slide breaks that big idea down perfectly into 3 pillars. Now think about how they actually work together. An audit, that's the technology, it might catch that biased voice recognition software we talked about. But a diverse team, that's the people, could have stopped that problem from ever happening in the first place. And a law, that's the governance, might be the whole reason the audit is required for any voice AI used in critical services. You see, each pillar props up the others. You really need all 3.
So the real takeaway is this. Building responsible AI is a holistic challenge. It is not just a coding problem or a legal problem or an HR problem. It's an alignment problem. The ultimate goal is to get our technology, our teams, and our rules all working together, all aimed at the same goal of creating AI that's both powerful and safe.
And that brings us to the final and most critical thought.
This isn't just a job for a few programmers in Silicon Valley or for policymakers in some far-off capital. Building ethical AI is a shared responsibility. It involves all of us, as creators, as users, as citizens. The foundation is being laid as we speak. So the real question is, are we ready to build on it together?